Dear sir, did you even read my masterpiece? Because if you had, you would not be sending me this form letter of rejection. That is, unless you are indeed a complete and worthless moron. I do not accept you as the arbiter for real talent. You, with your hackneyed conventions, have usurped the foremost places in art and consider nothing to be genuine or legitimate if it is not something you yourselves do. I do not accept it. It was optimistic of me to think that you weren't an undiscerning fool. Sincerely, the author who would have made you famous. I am in revolt against the age-old lie that the majority is always right. And more, it is always wrong, and in this way. Was the majority right when they stood by while Jesus was crucified? Was the majority right when they refused to believe the earth went around the sun and drove Galileo to his knees like a dog? It takes 50 years for the majority to be right. And the majority is never right until it does right. Now answer me this, just one more moment. A platoon of soldiers is walking down the road toward the enemy. Each one of him believes he is on the right road, the safe road. But 2 miles down the road is one lonely man, the outpost. He sees the road is dangerous, that his friends are walking into a trap. Isn't it clear he must have the right to warn the majority, to argue with the majority, to fight with the majority if he believes he has the truth? It is always the same. Rights are sacred until it hurts to use them. And I realize the cost will be great, but I beg of you, let this happen. The water is poisoned. My liege, I did deny no prisoners. But I remember when the fight was done, when I was dry with rage and extreme toil, breathless and faint, leaning upon my sword. Came there a certain lord, neat and trimly dressed. His chin new reaped showed like a stubble land at harvest home. He was perfumed like a milliner, and betwixt his finger and his thumb he held a pouncet box, which ever and anon he gave his nose and took it away again. Who, therewith angry when it next came there, took it and snuff, and still he smiled and talked. And as soldiers bore dead bodies by, he called them untaught knaves, unmannerly, to bring such a slovenly, unhandsome corpse betwixt the wind and his nobility. With many holiday and lady terms, he questioned me, and amongst the rest, demanded my prisoners in his majesty's behalf. I then, all smarting with my wounds being cold, to be so pestered with a popinjay, out of my grief and my impatience, answered neglectingly, I know not what. He should, or he should not. For he made me mad, to see him shine so brisk, to smell so sweet, and to talk so like a waiting gentlewoman of guns and drums and wounds. God save the mark.